Bama, Jamie Foxx, gnarly as fuck. Kevin Spacey, dumb as fuck. Is that controversial?
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Film Fumblers podcast. Today we're going to be talking about Babydriver, a heist drama that was directed by Edgar Wright and was released in 2017. So without further ado, enjoy! So let's get into this movie. Let's talk about it.
We do like opening thoughts, maybe.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a heist movie with fast cars, pretty girls, action scenes. What are you guys' thoughts?
Great music, excellent timing, amazing timing. If there's something that Edgar Wright is good at, it's timing. And it's like when he's good at it, he's like way beyond the next best person. He's like that good.
Yeah, the use of sound in this movie is like some of the craziest, like coolest shit I've ever seen.
It's so amazing. And I didn't even, I saw the name Edgar Wright, and I was like, I didn't see Simon Pegg once. How is this an Edgar Wright movie? But it was awesome. Oh my God.
He's not in Scott Pilgrim either, so.
That's true.
Disclaimer, this is my second time seeing it. I think I'm the only one who ever saw this movie before. Am I wrong?
You're right. You're correct.
No, I saw this movie before.
Oh, you saw this movie before? Yeah.
Yeah, second time as well.
So then I guess I'm talking straight to you. What did you think second time through? I think I enjoyed it a lot more the second time I saw it through. I think it might have been that I was looking for more details, more things that stood out to me, things that I just wanted to kind of piece together and connect. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think so. The first time watching it through, you're kind of like just gathering the story and everything, and then on my second watch, I was really paying a lot of attention to like the like Jay was saying, the timing and like the editing and the sound. And there is so much more. There's so much to unwrap there that if you've only seen it once, I would highly recommend watch it again. Watch it with a good set of headphones and just really pick up on the sound in this movie.
Yeah, definitely look at just kind of all the little nuances and all the imagery that is just played out that I really want to get into later on tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm going to let you guys take the floor if you want to just get into that first scene.
Oh, man. What an opening scene. What is it? How long is it? It's like at least like 5-6 minutes or so.
That's more? Like 7 minutes of just heist.
Oh,
just dude. Heist.
Just some pleasure to watch, dude.
Pure
the red WRX. Is that? Yeah. That's I think that's like our generation's like fucking wet dream getaway car. It's like so perfect. Yeah. Red. I think only yellow might be the next color that's just like screams I'm a fucking race car.
Well, the WRX's signature color is blue. So that's...
Oh, really?
Yeah, their signature color is blue, but the red was... I mean, it's beautiful in red. I love black and red vehicles, so...
Yeah, the red is just... It screams fast. It screams I'm ready. And I just thought it was just so perfect. Just the perfect getaway car.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I wasn't totally sure who was in this movie because I didn't really ever see much about it. People had told me to watch it, but I never saw anything other than Kevin Spacey was in it because all that shit happened with him. But the opening scene was so good for me, especially just because I didn't know when it reveals, boom, you've got what's his name, Jon Bernthal, fucking the Punisher, Walking Dead, all this crazy shit he's done. Fucking Jon Hamm right behind him. I'm like, holy shit, this is gonna be a great movie already. And then I didn't know really the other two, but I was like, okay, this is off to a great start. The music is going, shit's getting real. Amazing opening.
So I didn't know anything about this either, like how you were saying, Jay. I just knew he was just a good driver. That's literally all I knew about this movie. And that the sound was important. So that first like scene, like or whatever, with the bank robbery and stuff, like it sets it up so well. I'm just like, all right, I know what this movie's about, like already, like in without like revealing too much. Like it was really good.
Yeah, it sets the tone really well. Like, for example, like the song Bell Bottoms, I'd never heard that before, but I like loved it. Like I was like tapping my foot to it right away. Like it just worked so well for that scene. And something that that I want to pick up on too for the tone of the movie was you notice that when so like you just see the red car, it's parked outside of a bank, the three people run in to rob the bank. You notice that baby pulls the car forward a little bit. Or no, he actually doesn't do that yet. That's at a different one. He he watches the three people performing the heist, and then you can kind of see him like nervous, like uneasy and uncomfortable, and then he jumps right back into the music and he finds his piece there. So you know that music's like his crux, like the thing that he always turns to.
Yeah, can I actually say something about that? So the moment that he gets nervous, the music quiets and it focuses on the noise of the robbery. You can
Yeah.
hear them talking to the people inside the building. I don't know if that is actually a part of the song itself or whether they edited it to make it perfect that way. But when he sort of gets uncomfortable with his surroundings when the music is quiet, very 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 quiet. Yeah, I don't know if they did that on purpose
Oh yeah, that was
or
intentional for
what.
sure.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Do you think it was intentional or is that part of the song? Did anyone actually go?
I've listened to the yeah, no, I've listened to the song. I'm pretty
But
sure
does it shut down like that? Does it get silent like that, or
it
was
might
that
be an
a
instrumental break if
movie?
anything, but
Yeah.
they definitely quiet it down.
Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that part held a ton of weight. It just brings in what's going on around without the music.
Yeah.
So I actually had to watch the intro a couple times because I had it on and I realized I was like doing other things. I was like, okay, I just want to fucking focus on this. So I had to go back through it a couple times, but like the third time I realized shit like the windshield wipers were on beat and stuff, and I was like, wait. And I was
Oh, yeah.
kind of listening for it
Yeah.
after that, and my happiness level shot to like 25. It was just like I was so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, same, dude. Like, yeah, right when I noticed that all the like sound effects were going with the music, I was just like, all right, I'm paying attention to just that because this is really cool.
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and right in that opening scene too, you see how just how smart Baby is as a driver. Like the scene where he's on the interstate and he's coming up under a bridge and he sees two other red cars that look similar. So he pulls right in between them to kind of like, trick the helicopter that's
Oh,
watching him
yeah.
from above. And then he like cuts one off so they change places and then he exits the off ramp and just sneaks away into the parking garage and they just casually swap. Like so good.
Yeah.
That was
Dude.
awesome.
Perfect every time.
The driving before that was fucking like insane. I was like, is this even possible? Like, it probably, but like, I've never seen
The
nothing like
e-breakthrough
that.
thing. And
Like when he goes in the alley and he almost turns all the way around like 180 degrees and then like flips back around like to avoid the trucks. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. That was like some of the best car chase scenes that I've seen in a while. I'm not the biggest
yeah.
on like the Fast and Furious movies or anything that I'm sure they have great car chase scenes, but that was just I think it was like the first what was it? I really want to know. Is the first 6-7 minutes of
at
just
least 6
car
minutes.
chase?
It's a long ass scene.
Like
Yeah,
just
long.
fucking balls to the walls, fucking rubber burning. You could smell it through the fucking
Yeah.
TV screen.
And what I love what they did when they were getting out of the car is you hear the police radio that says like a suspect is in a red WRX and like that's as they're getting out of the car swapping to the other car. It's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh,
Like,
dude.
flawless.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually the only dialogue in this whole scene too. There's like no other spoken word is in that.
The
Yeah.
other
yeah.
thing that
Is
I
that true?
noticed-
There's no oh shits. There's no
No.
go babies. There's no. I think that's maybe later on in
Oh, wow.
the movie. That's
The
awesome.
other thing I noticed about them getting out of the car is every time they get out of a car, like every time or almost every time, they leave all the fucking doors open.
Oh yeah, don't waste no time, dude.
It was bugging me so much. I was like, aren't you just giving it away that this is the car?
I mean, they
Well,
just
I
robbed.
mean, they already
Yeah,
know, right? I mean, it's
They
already
know, but like there could be
established.
another red WRX and wherever
Like
they
he didn't
are.
have gloves or anything, so it's like, are there just fingerprints on the steering wheel?
Exactly.
I
Like
just-
it would just lead them to more clues quicker, I would think.
I thought that too. Yeah.
But the first time they did it, I was like, yeah, okay. And then they kept doing it, and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Close the goddamn
it's-
doors.
I think it's one of those things like cool guys don't look at explosions. You know, cool guys don't close their doors when they get out of them.
Exactly. I was about to just say that. Yes, I think it's a little bit of just, oh, we're too badass for this shit. We've already adrenaline's running high. Let's get the fuck out of here. Even though they don't really run to the cars that they're
Calm and
leaving in,
collected.
they're just kind of like,
Yeah.
see you guys later.
Another day at the office. Yeah.
Actually, that's another story for later on. But okay, so the end of the car scene chase, we see Baby just kind of walking around downtown Atlanta. Did you guys know that the movie was set in Atlanta? Did you
Oh
guys
yeah,
pick that
I
up?
did notice that. Yeah.
Wikipedia picked it up for me, but yeah.
Yeah. So he's in urban Atlanta, going around, kind of just going to pick up some coffee. Going to pick up some coffee before he goes and meets up with the rest of his heist members, just to kind of see what went down and everything.
Yeah,
Is
there's-
that
Sharing
right? Is that
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to unwrap with the with him walking to the coffee shop. It's actually, I think it's 100% my favorite scene in the movie, because
It's very good.
yeah, well, what it does is it shows how hard they worked on the editing for the music and the film in this movie. Like, it's played to Harlem Shuffle, and if you'll notice when you're watching it, the lyrics come up all of the time as graffiti, as writing on light posts, writing on the sidewalk.
Don't some
did
people like
notice
say it
that.
too? Like some
Yeah.
of the pedestrians.
Yeah.
The cop sirens go to it. The girl at the ATM, she's dee dee dee, like she's pushing it right to the beat. All of it just that was hands down my favorite scene. It just shows how
I think
hard
there's
they
a
worked.
point. There's a point where he's actually crossing the road, and it says something about crossing the road or like going across the way, something like that. Like
right, yeah.
it's totally good. And the horns part, just
Yeah.
like the brass
Yeah.
section right there in the window.
Yeah, how he
It's so good.
yeah.
Oh
That
yeah.
was my favorite scene for sure.
What I thought was great about this scene is that we just saw how badass he was at driving, and now we see how terrible he is at walking. Like he's running into everybody. He's almost getting hit by cars. Like, it's
Yeah.
so clumsy and totally not what we just saw in his driving.
Yeah.
That's
So-
that's kind of interesting. Do you think there's anything else to say about that, or is that
I don't know.
is that stylistic? Is that
I think
is
it
that an
shows us-
inconsistency? Is that an inconsistency? Because
Totally not.
shouldn't-
Totally not.
shouldn't- But don't you think that he should be in his swagger when he's listening to music, or is it
But
just
this
that?
is the thing.
music
Is that
and
he
So
is.
so is the swagger of the music plus the driving one thing, whereas music isn't very much the thing. It's the driving plus the music. It's not
Here's what
just
I think
music.
this scene is about. I think that music is totally his jam. If he's driving, he's got the music on. If he's walking, he's got the music on. He's not precise, like he's just kind of doing whatever he wants, but we get to see kind of the more real side of him that wants to just be this kind of like loosey-goosey, like chilled out dude. But when he gets behind the wheel, and because all his work is like behind the wheel, he feels like he has to put up this kind of professional wall. He has to be sharp, he has to be on point. But in reality, he just wants to enjoy the music and like wander around.
He wants to be a baby. He wants to be the baby.
He wants to be a
like
kid.
he doesn't
wants
want to
have
be the
fun.
driver. Okay. All right. Good. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Another interesting thing is when he's finally in the coffee shop, and he he takes off one of his headphones, and you'll notice if you listen to this, or if you watch this movie on headphones, you'll notice that anytime he takes out one of his headphones, you can still hear the music in the ear that he can, which is like such a cool touch. I loved that.
That's a great touch.
Yeah.
That's a great
But,
touch. I didn't listen to it on headphones.
Oh yeah, it's
I'm
so awesome.
regretting that now. Now that I know that. But
You know, he tells the barista, you know, his name, baby, and he's like, baby, yeah, B-I-B-Y, baby. And
B-A-B-Y.
you'll notice while he's waiting for his coffee, it's the first time we see Deborah. She's walking down the street, and he kind of sees her, and he sees her walking up the street, and then he leaves the coffee shop to kind of like see if he can still see her, but she's gone. She's like singing,
gone,
walking.
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like a
And
little.
she has some
cool
headphones on too, or something. Right?
Yeah, she's listening.
Yeah.
to music.
Yeah. Okay, that's right.
Yep.
Not a lot of women in this movie. Just really the two, right? I mean, like the two main. There's
that's true.
Darling and then
Yeah.
Deborah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So he goes and he finally gets a coffee, 4 black coffees. He goes and meets up with remind me the name.
So with Doc, who's the main heist operator,
Doc, okay.
Buddy, who is Jon Hamm,
Doc, Buddy,
yeah, Darling, who's Isa Gonzalez,
Darling.
and then,
and the Punisher.
Yes.
yeah, Griff,
Right.
John
Griff.
Bernthal,
Bernthal. Yeah.
Right.
which I loved John Bernthal, and he was only in the first in like that first scene. He doesn't come back, right? I don't think he.
No, and
Yeah.
there's a bit on that, but go
There's
ahead.
a bit on that. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just so great how he's kind of really skeptical about Baby. It's his first time working with Baby, and he's like, he says like, "What is he retarded?" And then Doc replies, "Retarded means slow. Was he slow?" And he's like, "No." and so that comes back a little later, but yeah, and John Bernthal comes up to him.
He's the devil
takes
behind
one
the
of
wheel.
takes one of his pairs of glasses and puts them on himself. Baby pulls out another pair of glasses, puts it on. John Bernthal slaps that pair of glasses off of his face, and later he pulls out a third pair. Like how
That was
smooth
awesome.
is
Yeah,
this?
that's so good.
Yeah. So I don't know if we want to get into Ansel Elgort's acting right now. Shout out to him, New York Knicks fan, always front row and center. So got love for the guy. Is he awkward or is he the most perfect fucking driver action star
I think both.
ever? Like,
Yeah, I think
does the
both.
way he acts and everything is it's just like is it like too convincing or is it actually too bad?
like it
I'm
fits his
stuck-
character
I'm-
super well.
I'm stuck between, yeah. So like I really like Jacqueline, my wife really hates the way he acts. She says, "Oh, he's such a bad actor." And I'm like, "But no, that's his thing. Like he's an awkward guy. Like he likes music, he likes driving fast. He's not meant for this lifestyle."
Yeah, he never talks or anything. That's just how he is.
Yeah.
That's why they call him Baby, because they're still waiting for his first words.
So interesting. I guess this is not related to anything, but it's related to Ansel Elgort.
Elgort? I don't know.
Gore?
It was between him and I forget his name, the other guy who played Han Solo in the movie Solo. His movie in that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo,
Wow.
Ansel would have been a good solo.
You know what's
Really?
funny though? He's a DJ, right? Like he actually makes music, Ansel. His
Oh,
DJ
really?
name is An Solo, like A-N.
Ah!
And he was like, I
Wow.
kind of didn't want it because then I would have had to change my DJ name.
Oh, okay.
So I was
No,
wondering,
that's
do you guys
very
think he would have
sick.
made a good Han Solo? Like, I
I
don't
may.
know if I could
I
see it.
don't know because I've never seen anything else that he's in, so
Exactly.
I couldn't
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. But like I was saying, it's like was he too awkward for Baby Driver? I don't know. I thought he was perfect. Like
Yeah, so just
Yeah.
based
he's
on
a
the
fucking main
performance-
character, dude. That's what's fucking crazy. Is like
yeah.
he's a main character, but like don't fucking downplay Kevin Spacey. That guy.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
just carried his lines so much, dude. Every single line that he said was just butter, like not like a stutter in what he was saying. Not to say that anyone else stuttered in the movie or anything like that, but like it felt so real, even though they were obviously rehearsed lines. It felt like somebody would actually say that. That just has that charisma and that swagger. That he's like a crime boss, but like he's just a smart fucking crime boss. So like just the way he was talking, I don't know.
Yeah.
He was incredible. It's too bad he's a molester, but
Oh no.
that's another story.
Oh
Yeah, see, that was my appeal to House of Cards, the other show that he's in. Like, he's just so, like, just the way he talks and everything, it's, like, so mesmerizing. It's so good, like you were saying. Like, it's just so smooth. You just want to hear this guy talk. I don't know.
Yeah. So maybe, Baby's or Ansel's character up against Kevin Spacey might seem like, wow, there's a big gap here, but I think Ansel was good for the role because there wasn't a lot of talking with, for him.
And I think it made it a
As
little bit
opposed-
more realistic.
Yeah.
Like he was like any of us. And I think I'm skipping ahead here, but his interactions with Deborah were just like they're kind of cringy, but it was just like shit. He's like kind of sly, but like
Yeah.
you could see he's kind of uncomfortable. Maybe like that's kind of what I got from it. I don't
But
know
he
if you
does
guys
the
got
job.
those.
Like,
Yeah, but like he's still kind of
Yeah.
sly. You're like, God damn it, this guy's kind of sly. He's kind of awkward, like, but he still's got a little bit of swag with him.
yeah.
Definitely. That's why I thought he was great for the role. It skews your view of him. And if you think about like, oh, what could he do as who for Han Solo? Like, what could he do? You kind of don't really know if you haven't seen him in anything else. If all you've seen him play as Baby, it's like, well, I don't know. It's like kind of an awkward role,
Yeah.
but he was great at it.
The only thing I thought of in that is just the looks. I was like, he looks like really young. He looks so young. So I don't know how that
Yeah.
would be. Just from looks alone is all I
Right.
was saying.
That's true.
Maybe with the hair, you never know.
And he's like a teeny bopper star. Like his other major casts are Fault in Our Stars, which is about I believe, 2 cancer patients that are both clinically ill and they fall in love and it's sad and you die. They both die or something. And then he's in the Divergent series, which is like another fucking Hunger Games or something, right? Some kind of bullshit like that. So those are like
I've never
both
seen that.
shit.
super teeny bopper like movies. So this might be like pretty good for someone that's like been pigeonholed into these kind of girly romance or like teeny bopper throwaway movies. You know what I mean? So
And
like,
he's still growing up
I'm-
too, so
Yeah, well, he's still growing up. He's our age. He's
I'm-
25.
visually to where he doesn't have to do those movies.
Yeah. So shout out to him. I'm sorry. I think I got us on a different
Went off
sect
on a little
here.
tangent. No, you're
but
good.
Yeah, a little bit of a tangent. But I just thought I had to mention him right away because he's right there in the beginning. He's just right there at the beginning. Like even just him talking to the coffee shop people, and then him talking. He's kind of, I don't know what is it. Why? I don't want to say he's autistic, but like, what is it that makes him be able to remember every single thing that Kevin Spacey's character says just to shut up the predator?
I mean,
Yeah.
isn't it? I thought it was like showing that he can read lips really well because he like knows sign language and lives with his deaf.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't
Awesome.
catch on that. Did you guys catch on that?
Oh,
Well,
I guess I never really thought about it. Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get that because I just kind of thought like, well, he has tinnitus, so he has trouble hearing, and he always has his headphones on to drown everything out. So of course he would learn how to read lips well.
But
Yeah.
that doesn't get revealed until later in the movie. When you're watching it for the first time,
Yeah, I
did
didn't catch
you
that, yeah.
feel that? I think that's
No, definitely not.
inherently revealed to the first watcher.
Right, it's not. Well, which brings us to the next scene.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Yeah, which the next scene when we meet Joseph, which is his paraplegic, deaf foster parent, I guess.
Foster father, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting scene. I mean, you kind of see that he's he's just kind of a kid, and he has like such a lighter side, and he's like dancing and having a jolly time cooking, lunch.
Totally.
Or well, not cooking, but preparing lunch for
And you
Joseph.
kind of see like the vibe that they got in their place. It's kind of like old school. They got the records going. They got the big speakers. It's a really cool, kind of chilled out kind of tone. Whenever he's with Joseph, that's kind of the case.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's the case. Is that Joseph actually plays into his life throughout his life, because everything he owns is retro. His instruments are retro. He's owning old iPods. He used cassette recorders. He's very influenced by Joseph, or maybe just the nostalgia of his mother, which I don't want to get too much into that until a bit later.
Yeah.
But I think Joseph, and just his nostalgia for retro music, all that kind of stuff, plays very heavily in his life, and it's very apparent throughout the movie.
Yeah, which, I mean, that brings us into the next scene where we watch him create the song that he creates music off of things that he records live. And he creates a song out of when Griff, asks Doc if he's retarded. Retarded means
Is he
slow?
slow?
Is he slow? Then he makes a song out of that, which is such a good song. Like that's a banger in its own right.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Does anyone know what that thing is called? That little paper scratch thing?
Oh, the card? I don't know.
The card thing, the card recorder thing that's like kind of like a scratcher.
I don't know what that's called.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the little pen thing. It's like do 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 do. Like how he records off of that. That's so cool too.
No. Yeah, so like everything's like I wanna bring this back again, is that everything he owns is retro. Like notice when he gets inside his stepfather's apartment, there's massive amounts of records lining the walls of that apartment.
That's
They're everywhere.
Theme, for sure.
They're everywhere. All the instruments he uses are retro. Old iPods, cassettes, and
to get like a little bit deeper with that, it's a retro is like a recurring theme in this movie, and I think what it could potentially mean is while as he's making the Was He Slow song, he sees the record, and the one that stands out that's gold is Mom. Then he has a flashback about the car accident that killed his parents that you can kind of get pretty early on. And what retro could kind of indicate is like, is he kind of stuck in the past, like still mourning his mother and not really gotten past that?
Here's my thoughts on that specifically, because it's true. When he got the very first scene, he boots up the iPod, and I'm like, oh, this is like an older video iPod, but it's cool. I'm into it. I don't really know what year it's supposed to be. And then you kind of gather, like, no, this is like modern day. And
modern day, you got the WRX, which is like a 2016, 2017 car.
And then
in the main scene, racing scene in the front.
I guess I don't know enough about cars to know that. So to me, I'm still like, what year is it? Because it looks modern enough to be a video iPod era, but maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
Actually, Manny's brother has a WRX STI, and it's a 2005, and it looks kind of modern still. Those cars actually did age pretty well.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah. So I think,
I didn't know that. I was assuming that it's like, okay, like that red WRX that just.
I randomly knew that, but yeah.
So good. Yeah, I thought it was like at least a 2016, 2017. Yeah. So I guess it kind of leaves it open.
Leaves it open. Really ambiguous.
Okay.
Like,
so no, I didn't.
Somewhere in the
know
last
that.
10 years.
Right.
But it's still
Which is totally enough for a
past-
video
Fascinating.
iPod to age.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it could
There's
be
a-
like what, like height of iPods.
There's another
Probably,
scene with the
yeah.
iPod that we'll get into a little bit later. But
Well, that's
Yeah, we'll
it.
see
Kind of
that.
ties into the car crash. What was cool about that is that it was clearly like 60s. I don't know, 60s, 70s. I guess it would have been. How old is he supposed to be? 20s, so maybe
Exactly.
80s. You don't really know. It looks like an old car that they're driving, no matter what.
He's got to be early night. Well, when the fuck did the iPod come out? Because is he listening to the
2001.
iPod in the crash?
Okay, I'm
Well,
just gonna get
He
into
has
this
the
right now. Go
earbuds.
ahead.
Let's get into the
Yeah,
crash
that's what I
because
noticed.
so he makes is he slow? He makes was he slow the song, and then all of a sudden he sees his mom's cassette, and they have a little bit of a flashback where his parents are fighting. They're fighting, arguing, and it kind of is implied that he used music to always drown out his parents fighting. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of sort of implied. They get
Even
into a
before
massive-
tinnitus.
they get into a massive car accident, right?
Yeah, and you assume that they both died.
So I'm sorry, I missed where we were before where we were trying to get into this, but
Yeah, no, yeah.
This is
So
where we were.
to talk about the iPods a little bit more. What really threw me off was there's another flashback that Baby has where he's unwrapping a Christmas gift, and it is an iPod. And
Oh,
I
right.
swear to God, it looks like it's shot like early 70s.
it's so
The
old.
first
There-
iPod
there's
didn't come
no-
out until 2001,
yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
so
so-
weird.
Okay, so
Sorry,
see
everything
that's
felt
like
so
in
ambiguous.
no, yeah, okay. Remember this, and then we'll talk about it later on when we talk about the end of the movie. We'll talk about the end of the movie.
Okay. Yeah, so and then you have to assume that
We'll talk
he's
about this scene.
maybe 21 because I think he gets drinks at a restaurant at one point. So you have to assume he's at least 21 maybe, or at least 19, which would mean he would, it's filmed in present day as we could assume. So then it's like he was probably born in the 90s. It's just it's a little weird. I don't know if it's a continuity thing or if they were really just trying to go with like, oh, let's make it look really old here for the flashbacks. I don't know.
I have a theory about this, but I do not want to talk about it until later on in the movie.
Okay.
We can talk about it later.
Okay.
Let's go forward then.
So basically, I believe that he's using the music to drown out the buzzing from the accident. Obviously, he has tinnitus. Before you don't know that until I think later on in the movie. His memory
Doc
is super
says it.
fucking sharp. His memory is super sharp. He can remember almost anything. I'm sorry, my notes here are kind of spaced, but do they get into another chase scene after this?
No, he goes into the diner and he meets Deborah officially for the first time at the diner that his mom used to work at.
Oh, okay. So Deborah dressed like a zebra.
Yeah. Yeah, so the scene happens at Deborah is walking into the diner to start her shift and she's singing I don't know what song it is. She's saying B-A-B-Y baby, and like immediately Baby's just kind of enthralled by her voice, and I think a lot of that has to do with the memory of his mom because we find out later that she also used to be a singer.
Right. So does the memory of him getting to the car accident happen before or
Yes.
after he's
Before he meets Deborah officially.
So when he's back at his apartment.
Yeah, that's when
Okay,
that
okay.
triggers, and then after that, the next scene is when he goes into the diner.
Okay. So yeah, they kind of have a little bit of back and forth talk, kind of. What's your name? Oh, Deborah. I don't know what it like that. I think this was where I wanted to talk about Ansel, like as an actor. Like it's like
Yeah,
it's
actually
it's
gets some
a- it's-
lines.
he finally gets his first lines. They're slightly awkward, but like he's got like a little bit of swag in it. Like you're like, okay, like
Yeah,
I feel like
They hit
he's
it off pretty
super-
well.
Yeah, they hit it off really well, and like I feel like he kind of relates to just the regular Joe kind of person that's just kind of sort of awkward, just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
That's how I felt about him.
he is a little awkward, but he has this slight suaveness about him, this mystery. There's a scene where, or at the part where he's talking about, she asks, well, what do you do? And he says, I'm a driver. And she's like, oh, you're a chauffeur, so you drive, important people around. He's like, I guess so. She's like, anyone I would know? He's like, I hope not. She's like, oh, mysterious. He's like, maybe. Like, it works.
Answers are like, when you like think about it, they're like kind of like nothing, but like to her, it's like, oh, it's like really cool. Like it sounds better than it actually is.
Right, yeah. And he's still mysterious, but he's mysterious for a good reason because he's a criminal, right?
Yeah.
You kind of get like a little bit more personal with who he kind of really is again. Like we still don't really know at this point, and he's, a little bit sly, a little bit shy, that kind of thing.
Definitely doesn't like that side of him, like the criminal part of him.
Right. Yeah, you can see he has a problem with that throughout.
Mm-hmm.
So right after that, he heads back home, and he has he's listening to music with his foster dad, and he gets a call for another job from Doc, and this is going to be his last job until he's paid off his debt. So he goes, he meets the new crew, which is Eddie No-Nose, Bats, and JD, and their plan is to intercept an armored truck, or to basically, yeah.
Flee. I've never seen him in a movie. You said he was in something, Jay, something else.
Dude, okay, this is what's crazy. This is the second episode that we've done. The last time we talked about Endgame. This time we're talking about this movie. Edgar Wright wrote Ant-Man. Ant-Man was most of our favorite Avenger last time. It's all
like the original cut of Ant-Man, not the final one.
And
just like
we talked about how Flea was in fucking Big Lebowski, and Flea is in this movie. I was like,
small part, but yeah, Eddie No-Nose.
Like,
that's a no-nose question.
Film Fumblers.
The Film Fumblers, yeah.
That's where we are, I guess.
Full circle.
Pure luck there.
Yeah, so they go over.
His name, the Asian dude, is that?
In the film, it's JD.
JD.
His real name is.
His tattoo used to say hate, but now it's his hat. He's like, why does it say hat? He's like, nobody. Or what does he say? Like, everybody likes hats or something.
Yeah, so he's like,
who hates hats?
Yeah, so what he says is he's like, it used to say hate, but I changed it to hat to increase my chance of employment. Like, how's that working out for you? Who doesn't like hats?
So good.
Yeah, so they go over the plan. That's the scene where Jamie Foxx's character Bat, he's completely skeptical about Baby, and he's like, how the hell do we know he knew a word you said? And then that's when Baby takes out his headphone and he recites the entire thing that Doc just went over.
Yeah, so we did know that he knew sign language and stuff by this point, and could read lips really well.
Yeah.
I guess I still didn't put that together at that point. I was just so focused on all the sounds and shit.
A bit off, but...
Yeah. Yeah, so Doc instructs them to buy Michael Myers masks, and JD decides that he thinks that he meant Mike Myers, so he buys Austin Powers masks, which was great. So funny.
So, you mean Jason or whatever? They're just like, no.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think they say something about like Mike Myers Halloween masks, and he literally like not even putting together Halloween, just buys the Austin Power ones.
Yeah.
So good.
Hey, he still did what was asked of him, but
Totally.
I mean, the job still got done. They were covering their faces,
And what might be a creepier way.
Yeah, maybe more menacing.
I think this is like another spot where we just see a good like Edgar Wright joke. Like a lot of his jokes are a little bit more out there, kind of weird, especially in like Shaun of the Dead and shit like that.
Oh,
but here, where the movie's kind of supposed to be a little bit more serious, he still finds ways to just throw his bullshit in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in this scene, I think another important part to note about this one is this is where Baby has to have the music synced up with like the whole plan. And you notice that he tells them to, to go, attack the guy at the armored van, and then you'll notice he pulls his car forward so he can't see the violence that's going on. And then once the song hits the right point, then he backs up and they, JD and Bats.
Oh, is that why he does it?
Yeah, I think it's because he's trying to avoid his reality that he's forced into.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Because he sees the body on the floor after, and he's just like super shit by that.
Right.
That's big. That's big.
Yeah.
So they start doing the heist. They get back inside the car. They're driving what? What are they driving? What are they driving?
An avalanche?
An avalanche, yeah.
They're driving an avalanche, and then that random civilian is just like
what
packing.
was up with that? He wasn't he couldn't have been a random civilian.
No, so I think
he was like
Jamie,
or something.
yeah,
He was a
Jamie
Marine or
Foxx's
something.
character. Jamie Foxx's character mentions that he's like some kind of ex-military, and he just has like the maddest heat. Like,
Yeah.
this guy's like Uzi, he's got shotgun, he's got like everything.
He's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, we got it. Jamie Foxx says, we got a hero. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he goes and fucking he just fucking follows them till the fucking death.
Yeah.
Literally to the death. Like,
He doesn't die. He's in the hospital later on the TV talking about it.
Is he?
Oh, I missed that.
Oh.
Yeah, when Joseph is watching the TV, he's talking about it.
Okay.
Missed that. He should have been dead. He fucking he should have been dead.
That was the whole point of that. That was the whole like character development of Baby. Like Jamie Foxx has a clean shot with his shotgun right into his car.
Yeah.
He sees that. Yeah, like he swings the wheel, pulls it out, and like it makes him miss it. And he even asks him after. He's like, "Did you make me miss that shot?" It's like, "I had a clear shot. Like, why did you do that?" Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, the second you catch feelings is the second you catch a bullet.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that on the TV later on. I thought he died because he flipped his car like fucking 40 times.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
Yeah, I mean,
he's
you can
dead.
definitely assume he
For
is.
sure he was dead, and like the way Baby was like feeling and the way he was looking, I was like, okay, he's out of whack because just a random civilian just died. Like,
Yeah.
I thought for sure.
So
Yeah,
next,
it definitely assume, but yeah, he comes up later.
yeah,
I
so
remember something happening on the TV, but I don't remember it being happening.
Yeah, I thought they were just going over the news story, but
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't realize.
Maybe I
it was being
didn't
interviewed.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
the interview in his
attention.
little hospital bed, and just was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah. Which was weird. I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, why is this? Even if he's ex-military, like, why is he trying so hard to be a hero? Like, if you couldn't get him initially, like, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird to me.
That was odd. That was a little odd. It was an awkward situation.
Yeah. So flash forward a little bit. They switch cars, and so they just steal another random car. It's this sweet mother who's in the car with her baby, and you'll notice that Baby grabs the baby. Wow, and then hands it to the mother. Before they leave.
Yeah,
And
so
John forgets his
JD
shotgun.
leaves his shotgun.
Yeah.
Does that have any implications? I don't remember.
Yeah, he says it in the car.
No, I
You
mean,
can go
like, does
shoot.
that affect
The implication is that I don't know why, but
Oh, he messed
basically-
up. That's why they killed
He
him.
fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
okay.
they kill him because I don't know what that means. I mean, I don't know if they can track the shotgun back to them somehow, and if that's why they decided to kill him, or just one less share, right?
This
One
goes
less-
back to Jay's like gripe with them just fucking leaving doors open and just the fucking fingerprints. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
They're
little
already
too careless, but
there.
not-
I don't know. Like it's like that. I guess that's like you said about Endgame. We didn't come here to talk about how much we love this movie.
Right? Yeah, there were problems.
I don't
We came
know.
to
I
just
don't think
talk.
that was that big of a deal.
It's not. Yeah, it's not huge, but it's a minor continuity kind of thing where it's like, really, that's why you kill him. But maybe it was just saying like, oh, that's how criminal they are. Is they're just like, oh, you made a minor mistake.
Yeah.
You're not cut out for this work. You're dead.
Yeah,
I think it's like a leave no
loose
trace
ends.
kind of thing. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, post heist, you notice that Baby brings 4 coffees, but there are not 4 people because JD is gone. What does Bat say? Oh man, he says something in Austin Powers' voice. He's gone, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Baby is then assigned to sunset that ride with JD's body in it. And you'll notice something funny about that scene is that that was Baby's last drive that he owed to Doc, because you find out that Baby stole Doc's Mercedes that had merchandise in it. So whatever it was worth a lot of money. So Baby owes Doc a lot of money, and that's why he has to do these drives for him. And you notice that Doc says something. He's very smart with his wording, and I think that's like just good writing, because he doesn't tell Baby we're done. He says we're straight.
Yeah.
So he says,
Right.
you don't owe me money anymore, but it doesn't mean that you're not my driver anymore.
Ah.
Right.
And that's what he always says. He says, actually, I don't know exactly what he says, but he says something about like, "Are you taking the drive?" And then it's not that he says no, but he doesn't say yes.
Yeah.
What is it? Does anyone know the actual line?
I can't remember.
What?
Yeah.
I can't.
Because it's such a good line. Like it's not that Baby says yes, but it's not like he can say no.
Right.
Because it's just
Yeah.
like he's just like, I think what it is Kevin Spacey says, you're taking the drive, and it's not like a yes or no question, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
right
more
after
of a
that-
I'll be there.
Yeah. Right. after
Actually,
this-
something that bugged me actually about the getting rid of the car or whatever. Can you just like take your car and like, yeah, just smash this? Like they don't like ask you about it. Like they don't check anything. I thought that was weird.
I would imagine Doc has ties to the people who do that.
It's
'Cause,
Atlanta.
like he also like he stayed around for it. Like what if the
Yeah.
dude's body just kind of blood exploded all
Spills
over?
out.
Oh, right.
Right.
That's
So I was
totally
like,
like
why are you just
Casually-
hanging around? I don't know.
Just
Doc
guess
has
casually
ties to
throws
this.
his throwaway cell phone into the van. Just casually, just that
Mhm.
cell phone.
Okay, I didn't think about.
I'll just
yeah,
throw it away.
I guess Doc's connections makes that.
Yeah, I mean, he
make
has-
sense.
He has police connections, dude.
Yeah. He says
Yeah,
the police
yeah.
are on the payroll.
Okay, that makes more sense then.
Yeah. So he takes the car to get sunsetted, and then Easy Like Sunday Morning comes on, because that's when Baby thinks he's free.
That's why I'm easy.
Such a good. I loved that.
I'm easy like
That was
Sunday
good.
morning.
Baby, he then goes, meets up with Deborah again, takes her out to a nice dinner. Doc, covers their meal, and then coerces him into, just straight up threatens him, saying, what does he say? He has a quote, pretty girlfriend, let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, can I interject and let's rewind just a
Sure.
second?
Sure.
Yeah, he goes to meet up with Deborah, and he's back at the cafe again, and he orders coffee. But did anyone catch how he
Doesn't
ordered
drink.
his coffee?
Cream and sugar.
Yeah.
And when he's with them, it's black. Yes, I did catch that.
Yes. So he ordered his coffee with cream and sugar because this one was sweet. This last
Mhm.
little, it was his last
Oh.
ride. He thought it was his last ride. It wasn't his usual black. So it was cream and sugar. He was feeling sweet. Like he was like, yes.
Yeah.
He saw the end of the
I like
tunnel.
that catch. Yeah. That's
He
cool.
saw the end of the tunnel. Like he usually always ordered 4 black coffees. Yeah,
Yeah.
that always included him as well. So cream and sugar. Like he was like, for sure, I'm out. Like I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
He
I
was
kind
like,
of
he was like so excited to get on with Deborah. Like he was like, okay, cool. But now we go into Adrian's.
Yeah. To go back to the
spot.
coffee for 1 second, I think what I took from that was that when he's with criminals, that's who he is. He kind of goes into that
Yeah, black.
form,
I guess.
black
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah.
And then
That's
when he's
good,
with
yes.
Deborah, he's like,
Well,
this
that-
is who I really am, and I'm going to be more me. But also the last ride kind of thing makes sense too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just another like we get to see his real side again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you,
So say-
know if he ever ordered cream and sugar before the fact, before or after the fact, like when he went to first meet
I
Deborah?
don't think it mentions it.
I think he ordered anything that first time. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't think he did. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
I think
may
it's
not.
Yeah, I think that was the first time. That was a good
very, very, very important that he's just cream and sugar. Like he's lighting
Yeah.
up. He's done now. He's all about Deborah. Let's do it, Deborah.
Right.
Yeah. So after he threatens him or whatever, is that when he offers to like take her far away from here or whatever in a car they can't afford? Well, like all that stuff. Does he do that right away? I feel like he
I
does.
think Deborah mentions that before he's threatened.
No, I mean like he offers that to her. Like, let's
Oh yeah. Yeah. So what happens is they Baby knows he has to do another ride because he's forced to. They go to the post office to gather intel with
okay.
Doc's weird nephew, who's a fucking
What a great
psychopathic
guy.
genius.
What a great character.
Oh, that was awesome.
He's so
And his
sick.
PSP, making it
Dude,
more
I'm-
vague to when
okay.
this takes place.
Dude,
Okay,
exactly.
check it out. Check it out. Here's my fam theory is that it's gonna be Baby Driver 2 and it's gonna be that little boy.
There actually is going to be a baby driver
Fucking
too.
There's
What?
Are you serious?
you lying?
I'm not lying.
It's gonna be the little boy. It's gonna be the little boy,
It
right?
could
It has
be.
to be.
I don't
It has
think
to
so.
be.
Yeah, because their story
Oh,
wrapped
that's
up.
so
Kevin
good.
Spacey doesn't make movies anymore. Who was going to do that?
Oh, that's true.
Fuck him. He's dead.
He is dead too.
His
Oh,
dead
that's
as
true,
well,
too.
He's dead in the
Revenge.
movie, and he's dead
The
in real
Nephew's
life.
Revenge.
So who gives the
Yeah.
fuck? That poor little boy. He's gonna be. Oh, I'm excited. If that's real, if
That
that's
would
real
be
shit,
cool.
I'm saying he should be the Baby Driver too. He should be. He
That'd be
knows.
pretty funny.
He's so well versed in this shit. He's just casual as fuck.
I mean, he can't drive
I
yet,
love it.
but
Yeah.
could be a future movie. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it could be like 20.
It's like super pre-production, so there's no information, but it's like
Okay.
probably gonna happen. It's like
Yeah.
on
And maybe the Baby Driver number 1 is the bad guy or some shit. Like, just like how. Okay, never mind. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the movie.
Okay. Where are we at?
So right now they go back to Doc's hideout, and we meet Buddy, Darling, and Bats again. And it's interesting because
Dude.
Doc always said he never does a heist with the same crew twice, and this time he
Bad Omen.
Yeah.
Bad
and so you
Omen.
kind of it's kind of foreshadowing a little bit like this isn't going to go well because he's breaking his whole routine, like his
Yes.
whole method of
So I
doing
have
things.
2 things real quick. One was from the previous scene, and one's for this one. So when he's at the post office, my mom works at the post office and has for a really long time. So that scene made me really uncomfortable. I was like, "Holy fuck!"
And the sweet lady at the
Yeah, I
counter.
was like, "This is basically my mom, and she might die in the next scene." So I was like, "Holy shit!" But
That's true.
yeah. So and then this scene with Jon Hamm's character, what is it, Buddy?
Buddy, yeah.
So there's a lot of little things like that happen earlier, like the very first sequence. He's like super like stoked for how good Baby's driving, and then like when they're back at the place, he's like listening to music with him. I think. Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Listening
like
to
really
Queen.
setting up like, oh, this guy's not that bad. Like he seems like a cool guy, right?
Mhm.
So when he comes back, like made me feel a little comfortable. I was like, okay, this guy seems nice. He has like his wife or whatever. And then
And
it
you feel like
kinda
he's
goes-
got Baby's back a bit.
Yeah, and then it kind of gets a little weird
And
from
it's
there.
like
but
Jamie Foxx is obviously the dick, so you don't got to worry about Jon Hamm.
I
yeah,
want to talk about Jamie Foxx a little bit because I think second to Kevin Spacey, I think his acting was potentially the second best.
Yes.
Did really
Yes. He is so fucking psycho and so creepy and so good. He's
Yeah.
so believably fucking
Insane.
deranged. Like he's just
Yeah,
That was
they stop at the
something
gas
about-
station for
something
gum,
about
and
him.
he walks back into the car
Kill
with a
that
full
guy?
pack of gum. He's like, "Did you steal that?" He's like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do? Do the paperwork?" Like,
He's
Does
so
he kill that guy or
good.
he might kill. I don't know. It doesn't.
I don't know.
It shows
I
the
don't
cash
think it's.
register, and there's no
Like,
one there.
there's no one there.
Maybe he's like, holy shit! Like, what the?
Maybe he
Oh,
knocked him out.
shit.
Maybe he killed him. Like,
I just thought he
Jesus
stole. That's all.
Christ. Either
that's
way,
all
that's still like this guy's crazy.
Dude, what I
think,
took from that is that that's when Bats fucked up. Like that's when he made his mistake. Like everybody else is making mistakes, leaving the shotgun, shit like that. I thought that was his like fuck up. I was like, oh, this guy's a gonzo.
Oh shit!
interesting.
But
Then he actually fucks up right after this.
yeah.
Anyway, what James?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to give that to Adrian.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is before this next heist, they need to meet up with Doc's arms dealers, and
The butcher.
yeah, the butcher. God, what a
The
beautiful
butcher.
scene! How he's explaining all of the.
I love the
arsenal.
comparison. The comparison to
Like,
the
that's
hog.
neat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real good.
Hey, can I? I'm sorry. I'm reading my notes here again, but can we go back to the previous lookout of the what is it called? The U.S. Postal Office.
Yeah.
So I wanna. So remember the lady, the lady that baby talks to and she brings in
And
the
the
little
nephew.
boy and the nephew and everything. So I actually I was like, oh, there has to be something with this. She quotes Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
she actually says a lyric, and I ended up looking it up later, and I want to bring this back up later in the cast. But the lyric is, everybody wants joy, none of the pain. To get a rainbow, you gotta endure a little rain.
Ooh.
So I thought I thought to myself when I heard that, I was like, that's gotta be a little bit foreshadowing. I was like, it's gotta be. I was like, why would they say those words? I was like, why would they
Yeah.
say those words?
Yeah.
Why would they put that in the movie? But let's bring that back later at the end, and
Okay.
I'll explain that. But anyways, we're back at the arms comparison to a hog. So we've got Doc's goons. Basically, I think they're all Atlanta Police Department
Yeah.
plugs, and that little guy. I think this is one of my favorite scenes. Just the descriptions of like, oh, we've got the finest sausages, and they're just like these badass grenades that are just gonna blow your fucking brains out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like, oh, we've got the finest cuts of the hawk or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
like it's just like I fucking loved that shit, dude.
The writing there was
really
really good.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super
It was
clever.
so good because it kind of showed that they were very aware of like, hey, we could be being recorded. We don't want to be fucking double crossed, even though we're
Mhm.
double crossers. We're cops ourselves. We don't want to be compromised.
Oh, like
or
they could be
anything.
tapped or something, you know.
Yeah, double tapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, double. I mean, they were all supposed to be cops, right?
They were,
Well,
yeah, they were on they were
yeah.
on Doc's payroll.
So
I feel like wouldn't Doc tell them like they look like cops, but they're
Yeah,
like,
that was
this-
weird. Well, not only they look like cops, the boxes would say like
Yeah.
APD or whatever. Atlanta
Which
Police.
was weird.
Doc
How
tells
freaky
them the
place.
bare minimum
I
they
know.
need to know, though.
yeah, I think I
That's
agree.
true.
Adrian, he just doesn't want to give them the whole
Mhm.
hog. Ha! No pun
Ew.
intended. He doesn't want to give them everything
Yeah,
because
here's what you need to know.
he's got face to save too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
he's
guess-
got shit to cover, and he's gonna play his cards to make money the way he wants to make money.
Yeah, it's not like he
Whether
has to
it's-
trust them because he probably has a million ways to deal with them. You know what I mean? Like if something happens.
Exactly.
I think it
Jamie
just
Foxx
shows.
has one of the best one-liners, I think, in this movie, where he's deciding on what choice of cut to pick, and he says, "I think I'm gonna go with the pork back because I love smoking pigs." And then just boom, shootout immense. It's like it's so good.
And then it's again.
Yeah.
It's fucking ba-boom, boom, ba-boom.
You want to explain that, James?
For the listeners
For those
who
who,
don't know.
for the listeners who don't know, is basically Battlefield.
theme song,
It's a
right?
Battlefield theme song, and it goes ba-boom, boom, ba-boom. And for some reason, we love to just in everyday life and just shoot guns, but basically the gun shoots with the music, and it goes boom, 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 ba boom.
Not in real life, but yeah.
So now we get back into the fucking guns with the music again. One of my favorite parts of this whole thing. So they all start shooting each other. They fucking throw grenades, blow all the bitches up. My favorite part was the fucking finger twitch with the radio signal.
Yes.
It gets crunchy and it's twitching with the radio signal, like just like old school style. Like if you ever turn the dial trying to dial in on a radio station and you see the finger twitch.
Dude, that was so weird. Like
that.
if that was any other
love
movie,
that so
that would
much.
have meant something so fucking weird. But like in this movie, obviously not. But like
Right.
I don't know.
Was this
no?
at
But
the end of the shootout when it pans
this was
back
at
over?
this was at the end of the shootout
Okay.
when
Yeah, I
when
remember
the
that.
guy's laying on the floor. I believe the main cop or whatever he was. I don't want to spoil the movie, but he shows up at the end of the movie. You guys know that, right?
Wait, what? Who?
The guy
Butcher?
that's twitching. The guy that's
The guy who
no,
stayed alive.
not the midget guy. The black guy.
Right.
The black cop shows up at the end of the movie. The one that's twitching his fingers, so that kind of shows you that he survived getting shot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, if this
Yeah.
was any other movie, I would have thought that guy was alive. And
Oh no, yeah, he's alive. He's alive at the
totally
end.
okay,
At
all
the
right.
very, very well, I don't want to say the very, very end scene, but one of the end scenes, he is there, but his finger twitching, so you kind of know he's alive, and it's the dial of somebody trying to find that right station is just like that crunchiness, and I love that. That was
That was real good. Yeah.
so good. I love that shit.
Yeah, this movie won a couple of awards for best editing, and I mean, it's scenes like that, or just not even scenes, just little things they throw in there that just they totally deserve it. Didn't win any Academy Awards, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think I would be
I mean, I
pissed
don't know, that's
if
all
it didn't
politics.
win any. Like that's how crazy this editing was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I've checked up on that. I don't know if does anyone know? I don't know if they won any like real prestigious awards or anything like that.
No, not anything. They won some awards from the British Academy Film Awards, Chicago
Was that the BAFTA?
Critics Association. Nothing that's. I mean, I don't know. I don't know too much.
But they were all sound editing and audio.
Yeah. They were nominated for 3 Academy Awards: Best Film Editing, Best Sound Editing, and Best Sound Mixing. So I mean, that's
Let's see what won over this because that's upsetting.
Yeah, no, it's
totally.
Yeah, so we have they're sitting at the diner, and this is one of my favorite scenes with bats, and I think this is where Jamie Foxx kind of locks in his place as second best actor in this movie. I mean, maybe if not, maybe first. I don't know. But he has this monologue where he's talking to Buddy and Darling, and he's telling Buddy exactly what type of person he is. And he has this really great one-liner at the end of the monologue. He says, "If you're Wall Street, you're a bigger fucking crook than I could ever be." And like it's just like it's you get to see Bat's mindset when they're doing the armored van heist. Before that, he says they have what is rightfully ours. It's Bat's sadistic way of justifying everything, that the rich are the problem and that he's kind of Robin Hood. I mean, he's doing it all for himself, but you can kind of
he
see
thinks
that.
he's in the right.
right,
It
yeah.
makes him seem way
You're
more
right.
crazy.
That's
Yeah, you're
interesting.
right.
I took that as like him And that's probably the reasoning, but him like doing like a pep talk, like, okay, we're gonna get in there, we're gonna fucking do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he does choose specifically to like call people out and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because it seems
Right.
like he just knows that, and he's like, yeah, I don't know, it's just like a wild guess or some shit. You're just like, oh,
Yeah, and Buddy is not happy about it at all.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
see
then
him. He doesn't say a word, but you see.
And then so Maria, right? Is that her name?
Oh, we actually
Maria.
skipped over real quick when they're at the gas station. You kind of
talked
see
about that
how
briefly, yeah.
crazy Jon Hamm and his wife are.
Oh, when they talk about killing him.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you want me to kill him? Like,
He looked at me funny. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Sure, we should
true.
talk
Yeah.
about this in front of baby. And he's like, he won't say anything or something like that.
Oh, I won't say
Yeah, that's when
nothing.
like your like perception of Buddy and Darling kind of starts going down. And you're like, oh, geez.
Yeah, it starts changing. You realize that they're bad people.
Yeah. Well, after
For
their
sure.
first heist, you'll notice that Buddy says something pretty interesting that I didn't pick up initially, but they're all leaving in the elevator, and he says, "All right, Doc, we'll call you again when the nose bag's empty." So they're just like drug addicts who are just living
Right.
life like as 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that. But I think one of Bat's more like kind of hilarious takes was when Darling starts like, oh, you don't know him, you don't know me, you don't know him, and then
Yeah.
he just starts
Starts
clapping.
clapping.
He's
Yes.
he's like the fucking Oscar goes to, like, you
Yeah.
know, like he's fucking crazy. Like
Yeah,
that's
he's
just that shows you it's just like
Unmoved.
you don't give a fuck how much you're gonna say, how much you can say, what you're gonna say. He don't give a fuck about what you're gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
He's like you guys are so fucking fake in Wall Street.
Yeah.
It doesn't phase him. It doesn't blind him. So I thought that was more funny than like the "you're a bigger crook than me" line. Like I
Yeah.
thought his whole clapping and everything like that
Right.
was just so much more powerful.
Yeah. So before they leave the diner, you see that Baby leaves a note for Deborah, and I can't remember exactly what it says. It's like 2 a.m. Like we're leaving town or something like that. So then they head back to Doc's hideout. Doc knows that something went wrong with the arms dealer. He questions them. Bat says that the arms dealer shot first. The other guys agree, and Baby kind of says like, Doc goes to Baby and is like, oh, well, are we still doing this? Like, are we still doing this heist? And Baby reluctantly agrees, but he has a plan to get out.
So this is when he's taken off at night, right? Or he's trying to, and Buddy like opens his eyes like a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Totally knows that some shit's happening.
Yeah, both Buddy and Bats.
Yeah, and then Bats randomly makes an appearance in the fucking
Just
car.
in the car, right?
What a
Yeah.
horror scene, by the way, when Buddy is just standing right in the middle of the parking garage.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Hello. Like, whew, nothing gets by
But
that.
I think it's not exactly, you don't know yet it's a horror scene because
Right.
I like just seeing it as like, oh shit.
yeah, but when what we know about Buddy in previous scenes, like him with the Predator and everything, we think that Buddy is an okay guy. Like, it's like, fucking leave Buddy alone. Hey, what are you listening to, baby?
Yeah, there's a lot of
You
setup
know,
for Buddy. being
There's a
like-
lot of like not to say that Buddy's a fucking fatherly
Stand-up
figure
guy.
or anything, but like he's like a little bit of like a mentor. Not really.
It's like compared to
But,
everyone
like,
else,
he's-
he doesn't seem so
Compared to everyone else.
Yeah,
I mean,
he has
well,
like leave the kid
I
alone
mean,
kind of thing.
Yeah. He's got that like, hey, I'm here for you kind of thing.
Yeah,
Even
'cause-
more so than Kevin Spacey's character, which
Doc.
I guess we're going to talk about later. I think he had a little bit of an out of character moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so does Jon Hamm or Buddy? Doesn't he initially try to help him? He's like, just get out of here or something.
Yeah,
right?
basically
Yeah, he's
he's
like-
talking about
when-
a way out.
Yeah. So that really sets up the tone for him. Like,
And that's when Bats shows up.
even though the tone changes so quickly in the movie's not very long.
Yeah.
It changes a little bit.
Yeah, that's when Bats shows up, right? It's like, hey, where are you guys going?
Yeah. Oh, just go for a drive.
Yeah.
Who's going for a drive at 1:45 in the morning?
And then things get a little bit more intense.
Yeah,
I think
so-
as a viewer there, you're like, oh, fuck, here we go.
Oh yeah, that's when what's his name? Son of a bitch.
Bats?
Yes, Bats just has his tape recorder. He's like, oh, you're looking for this or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
so
then
Buddy
they go back inside, right?
He smashes his face in, right?
knocks him out.
And they go back inside and they're showing Doc or no, they go to his apartment and get all the tapes and everything. So they come back and dump them all over the table and he's just like,
And they
"What the fuck
steal
are these?"
Bats steals Joseph's wheelchair, which was really
Oh.
eerie. Just seeing him wheel
Yeah.
in on the wheelchair, you're like, oh no, what happened to Joseph?
Mhm.
That solidifies the character and just the fucking you kind of you're like, okay, Bats is batshit crazy, but
Oh wow, yeah.
like,
That was
I
the
think
next
that
level
shit-
shit.
yeah, that solidifies it.
Yeah.
Because at first you don't think Jamie Foxx is that crazy when you see it, but he's sinister and I think he's methodical. He's very he can read people. He knew Baby was leaving. It was no fucking joke. I mean, not to even say that it was just Baby being Baby, but he was able to read
Yeah.
Jon Hamm's character, I think, pretty okay. Well, he knew they were drug addicts and everything,
Yeah. He can read people, for sure.
but he was able to read people for sure.
Yeah, so Baby wakes up on the table. Doc is clearly upset about all the recordings because I mean it looks sinister when you have tape recordings of everyone when they do such criminal stuff. But after a little bit, Baby explains, "I make music." They listen to Was He Slow, which again a banger.
That was hilarious.
That was
They're just
awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
wow, actually, plays
Yeah, and they're just like, "What is this music?" Yeah. So after that, they kind of just take Baby for his word, and they understand that he's not, nefarious and anything like that. So then they commence the heist for the post office.
They all go their separate ways into it, right? And then that's when the worker walks by
Yes.
and he shakes his head. He's like, "Don't go in there."
Yeah, she's like
She gets
Javile
it.
as shit, and she's just like, "Oh, hey, I still remember you from the other day," and he's just like, "No, don't go in there."
And I thought she would have just taken that cue and got the fuck out.
That's what I
And
thought.
instead, she goes and gets
Snitch.
fucking thing, the security guard.
Snitch.
I was like, wow.
Well, I mean, maybe she
Really
thought
that
he
bad?
was in trouble. He's like, "Oh, I need to help him."
Maybe. Yeah. Which, I mean, he wasn't not in trouble, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. Which comes to a really interesting pivot in Baby's character. And I think this is what gave his character some depth, was that he sees evil that is Bats, and he sees an opportunity to destroy this evil. So he sees the truck that has that pole sticking out, and they all jump in the car. Bats is in the passenger seat, and they're just telling Baby to go.
Oh
And so
man.
Baby just floors it straight
Cameron
into that
keeps looking
truck,
at that pole, dude. I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah. and it just straight up impales Bats right in the chest. And
Final destination shit right there.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's when they all get out and start running.
Yeah, so they start running. So now it's Buddy, Darling, and Baby. There's a really cool running scene. They have music that goes along with it, really great. And they have a shootout. Buddy and Darling have a shootout with the police, and there's where that battlefield did it comes back in,
Yeah.
where they're shooting with the beats of the song. Darling dies. She gets shot by the police, and I think this is where Buddy the sanity that Buddy had. I mean, he's still some crazy twisted criminal, but the good that he did have was with his wife. And after she's gone, all bets are off.
Yeah.
Oh, he becomes an absolute psycho.
And all that, like, all the running that Baby does is so cool to watch. I don't know. I love watching that shit.
He takes that screwdriver, just because he knows he's gonna have to pop a window and hotwire a car.
I love watching his, like, sixth sense of, like, the cops and stuff. Like, he'll slow down at the perfect time and, like, he'll do all this other stuff. It's really great to watch.
Yeah. So after this, Baby heads back home. He picks up Joseph and drops him off at a retirement home, leaves him with some money, and records some audio about who Joseph is, because he really cares about his foster father, and he records some audio and leaves it with him at the doorstep of the retirement home.
Oh,
And then he heads back.
There's one more important thing before that.
Okay,
Is when he carjacks that old lady, throws her purse and everything, and she's just like, "What the fuck? Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
She's just like, "I'm sorry," and, like, takes off.
Yeah, he apologizes.
The scene with the recorder was totally brutally tear-jerking. I probably cried like 12 times right now. And then, Edgar Wright, perfect time. Was that his name, Edgar?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect timing, of course. The camera goes up, you see the helicopters, they're searching, camera goes down, and Baby's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Totally awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, then they head to the, Baby heads to the diner where Deborah's working, and somebody's already there to meet him. It's Buddy.
Oh, yeah.
He flashes that gun in the newspaper, dude. I lost my shit. I was like, oh my god.
I was like, Deborah's fucking dead. Like, I was so nervous.
Someone is gonna die, for sure. And the fucking cops show up, right? Yeah. And you're like, oh shit, this is going down. And the dude just has to, like, take a piss. But it's still, like, super tension. Like, Baby's about to die. Cop comes in, and you're like, oh my god, this dude's taking a piss. Has no idea that the most wanted people in this movie are right here. Totally crazy. But a little bit of a joke, a little bit more Edgar Wright-y, he finds ways.
He finds what?
He finds ways to just slip his
yeah
kind of comedy in.
So yeah, then Baby, he shoots, he gets an opportunity, he shoots Buddy 2 times in the chest, and you're like, okay, he might be dead. And then they Baby and Deborah, take off on foot to steal a car, which was an interesting scene. How did you feel about that, James? Yeah, so the scene where they need to hijack a car, basically, and there's those 2 dudes who they steal a car from.
So this is Bonnie and Clyde, Young Love. That's
That's
those
guys.
They're just like vaping.
Yeah, it's those weird white dudes. It's just like, do you even know how to use that? Yeah, he just used that literally fucking 5 minutes ago. Like, he will shoot your ass. Like, and they're just like, oh, okay. He's just like vaping and shit. Like,
dude, that was so funny.
Can I lose my phone?
Yeah,
oh my god.
I thought he was gonna give it to him, but he's just like, no.
Like, nah, you're an old lady with a purse, but
well, I think you kind of see, like, okay, fucking Baby's got to get real right here.
Yeah,
you don't got time for being nice right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So an interesting scene that I thought was when Doc kind of breaks character a little bit. I think somebody mentioned that earlier, but they Baby and Deborah head back to meet Doc at his hideout, and so Baby runs in and he's like, Doc, I need help. And Doc's like, "Fuck you, kid." And then Deborah walks in screen. He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll help." Like, it was just kind of weird.
I was in love once.
Yeah.
Well,
And
well,
that's
no.
it.
The funny thing was is like, stop quoting Monsters Inc. You little shit.
Oh,
That was
so good. I didn't
great.
notice
That was so good. So,
And do you know
So,
where that?
okay,
Go
so-
ahead.
so Taryn actually brought this up earlier. Is that every time they watch TV in the movie, it's not just bullshit. They're not just watching TV. It is things that are happening within the story. So
Oh, they do show Monsters Inc. on the TV.
in the
Oh,
Yeah, they
beginning,
do.
in the
Damn.
beginning of the movie, they show Monsters Inc. So that's why he quotes Monsters Inc. all the time. He actually is quoting Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
And so Baby quotes Monsters Inc. like we're supposed to be a team or some shit like that.
Yeah, we're friends.
I don't.
It means we're a team.
Yeah, we're friends. It means we're a team. And so Doc's like, don't quote Monsters Inc. You little shit. That's his nephew's or his what is it? His nephew or his son?
Yeah.
Niece or something, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, his nephew's. That's his favorite movie and all that shit. So that was what Taryn said about that random guy that was like trying to stop everybody. That fucking army man. And they
Yeah.
showed
Hero
him-
guy.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, G.I. Joe, and they showed him on the TV. I was like, holy shit, okay. So everything that's on the TV, if you want to rewatch the movie again, it plays back into the movie for sure, 100%. It's not just random bullshit.
Well,
Yeah.
in the
Random.
beginning of the film, where he's flipping through channels and you see the Monsters Inc. one. Before that is Little Rascals, and it's Alfalfa singing "You Are So Beautiful to Me." So it kind of touches on like the love aspect of it, and then the Monsters Inc. quote, and then after that, it's from Fight Club, and it's the scene where Brad Pitt looks over and he says, "How's that working out for you, kid?" You know, and so it's just like, how is
Oh,
all
he
of this?
says that to. Yeah, nice.
It's like everything in this movie is so intentional, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. So after he says, stop quoting Monsters Inc., you little shit, basically they have this little Bonnie and Clyde love. It's a young love. What
Mhm.
Doc says is right into the sunset. Don't trust anyone but each other. Never look back.
And I have good news. You
I
like
was
driving
in
because you can't
love
take your foot off the
once.
gas.
Yeah. He said, I was in love once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like, there was
so
something.
is that like a cop out of a character? Why does he care so much?
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
You
Why?
look at it that way because it's just complete 180 to everything we've seen about his character. Like, he was the epitome of professional. Like, he got shit done. He didn't take any bullshit. And now the second, like, oh, young love. Yep, I had that once. Here you go. Total hole in him.
And
Yeah.
it kills him. It
Yeah,
kills
that was-
him.
It's
It's
definitely
literally
kind of
kills
is
him.
it kind of that's my problem with the movie. That's one of my big problems with this movie is
Mhm.
that
I
I mean
can see
okay
the point
so
of
so
looking
like
at it that way.
so like I understand like okay so he said I'd never use another crew.
the same team twice.
I never
Or-
use the same team twice. But you're always my driver. You're always my driver, baby. And
My
then
only
he does
charm.
this, but it's just not real when he says like, "Oh, she's beautiful, isn't she? Keep it that way."
Yeah, let's keep it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
How
it
long
just
have they been
doesn't make
working
sense.
together though? I wonder if he just kind of grew
They've been working
some
together
kind of
for
camaraderie, like something with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Okay,
he
so-
totally
He
had a
like
soft
cares
spot
for him. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so they've been working for a while, but how long has Baby known Deborah?
not long.
Let's talk about that
a
later.
few weeks,
Yeah. See,
right?
that was. It
Yeah,
felt
I
weird.
guess.
It was like they're just running
I
away.
want to
But,
say that's a few days.
yeah.
I
It was,
want to say it's a few
Maybe.
days.
Yeah.
I want to say
I
it's
was
a
gonna
few
say how
days.
far apart of the
But
heists,
let's talk about it. So Bonnie and Clyde, young love. Fucking Ansel casually jumps over their car, and then they take the other car. One of my favorite scenes is that Baby is a better driver in reverse than Buddy is regular. Baby's a better driver in reverse than Buddy. Like, he's driving in reverse, and doing all this kind of crazy shit. Buddy's driving regular.
Yeah.
But Baby's a badass motherfucker. Yeah.
The reason he drives.
Yeah, so after that scene, they head down in the elevator, and we have 3 guys that I guess were working or tied to the arms dealers that, you know, they shot up in the previous scenes. And
So is this where the hand twitch guy comes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hand twitch guy's right there. Center screen. Yeah, that's the same dude that his hand was twitching. That's him.
Okay, yeah.
That's him. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's where he comes back to play.
Yeah, and so Doc says, "Go, I'll take care of these guys." And he fucking does. He blasts all 3 of them, gets shot a couple times, and then oh shit, the cops, and it's like, oh, that's not the cops.
Gets run over twice. That was fun.
Yeah, that was brutal. Gosh, what a way to go out.
It's like he might live, and he just reverses over and I was like, holy shit.
I did not expect him to go out right there. Or at least like that.
Yeah, it was brutal.
The cops was weird. I was like, how did the cops even know? And then all of a sudden it was Buddy, and I was like, oh, makes sense.
Yeah. They had a really cool like car chase scene around the parking garage, you know, which was awesome, and you know, Buddy and Baby fight it out for a while. Basically, Baby is kind of at the point where, you know, you're like, oh, he's gonna lose, and Buddy shoots, you know, 2 gunshots next to his ears.
Oh, that was so clever.
He wants to take away what he loves most. So he takes away his hearing, and then he goes to Deborah, you know, like, where it's like, okay, that's what you love most too. She comes out with a crowbar. And yeah,
fucking Half-Life on him.
Yeah, wails on him. And then Baby, I think he shoots Buddy like in the kneecap, and then Buddy falls off the parking garage and then explodes, as you do in an action film.
Yeah. Well, though because he pushes the car off. But
Yeah.
He gets out somehow. That was before, but
Yeah.
There's still a lot of shit that goes on.
yeah,
It's a long scene, but that's, you know, that's kind of the highlights of what happened, I think.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to wrap on that one?
I was like, oh,
yeah.
he's burning. He's dead. And
What
then
I want
explodes.
to
Holy fuck.
what I want to. We were just talking about this. It's just like, okay, homegirl is just down to fucking kill.
Fuck yeah.
After a
Like-
few days.
like-
yeah.
Like couple days, couple weeks, like it's just.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that is just. I don't know.
She's down
Just
for it,
She
man.
wanted to get out. There's all kinds of scenes like with her boss seemed like some kind of abusive.
Yeah.
asshole.
Okay,
wanted to
but hey,
And there was
Hey,
some
yeah.
lines like she said that first, right? Like, I just want to like drive in the sunset. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah,
exactly.
driving
I
the
think-
interstate, listen in a car I can't afford, listening to music. I
yeah,
love.
but okay, me and
There's
you,
nowhere to go.
hey, Taryn, you want to drive in the sunset? You want to kill some people?
Well, no, it's just like
What? Doesn't make any
yeah.
sense.
just
Does
you
not
just
make
down.
any sense.
You don't see her
It's-
to be.
it's-
she's accepted this life. She's going all in. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so that brings us,
And okay,
It's just how
so
I got.
can we bring it back? And is that just like, okay? I don't want to. I want to keep talking about the movie, and then I want to tell you my theory about why she is so down for that. Down.
yeah, which
Down for why she chooses to be just down for killing or whatever, and down for Baby. But like let's talk about it like us. I don't know. Do you guys like to watch movies realistically? Do you guys like to watch it?
Depends.
yeah,
Is
Like
this
this?
a realistic movie for you?
I
No.
don't think so.
No.
it's not.
No.
It's
No.
too Edgar Wright.
That's why I just
None of his shit has.
yeah, exactly.
So you
but it's on the
can't-
border. It's always like real life injected into just this chaotic environment
So
that would like never be real for most people.
So when the unrealism happens, like a woman who is down to just fucking kill and Half-Life 2 some motherfuckers with some crowbars,
I mean,
does that
was
take
that her
away?
intention to kill him? I feel like she was just trying to get him off of
She may
the
have also been fighting for her life too, because
Yeah, because she
he was
killed
threatening
Baby,
to kill
he
her
would've-
before as well.
But
I think
can
it's like
we?
self-defense, but she gets more violent than anybody thought she would.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe
Sorry,
she
go
has a
ahead,
crooked
James.
past. Maybe that's part of James's theory. But
Can is it? Oh, is it? Can we say that Baby is a killer?
no.
No.
Yeah, he intentionally shoots him in the knee.
Right.
And almost ruins everything to save like some random ass people
Yeah.
throughout the movie.
Okay.
And like to touch on James's point a little more, the next scene when they're kind of driving off into the sunset and they get stopped by a police barricade, you see that Deborah's like, we're fucking fighting right now. Like she's ready to go, and Baby's like, no, I need to turn myself in. I need to serve my time for what I've done.
But why is she so fucking crazy like that? Why does she want to kill cops?
Yeah, she's ready.
Does she want to kill
She's
some
ready to
cops?
do it.
Why? Why?
I don't know. I guess
Why?
it's just some inferred
But why?
backstory that we
I don't
don't
know.
have. I guess. I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any
I
sense.
think it just moves the story
They've known
along.
each other.
Yeah, my
They've known
suspension
each
of
other for
disbelief
like
pretty far up.
maybe a
This is
month.
fine.
I just want to say a month for like time's sake. I don't know.
It's like I totally get what you're saying, but I just think the movie wasn't long enough to like explain any of
Yeah,
that.
it's not a TV.
No, yeah. So I want to talk about it a little bit. I want to talk about it.
Yeah. So
Alright,
after
let's finish out the movie. Then we can
yeah,
talk about
there's only a couple more
overall
scenes.
things.
So Baby and Deborah, they get stopped by the police barricade. Baby goes willingly, and in the court trials, there's a lot to unwrap there. But he's sentenced for 25 years with the potential of parole in 5 years. And everyone has a great testimony to tell about him. All of the characters that we met earlier.
hmm
Right.
Yeah. So, you see Baby in prison. He gets some postcards from Deborah. He had to have at least been in there for 5 years, right? So she waited him, and again, to your point, James, she knew him for maybe a month at best, and then she's like, "Yeah, I'll wait 5 years."
5 years.
Yeah,
Why the
true.
fuck you waited 5 years? Why?
True love, homie.
True love. Yep.
he is.
Bitch, please, my ass.
He's
God damn.
released from prison,
God damn it.
Okay,
and
so
yeah, go
is
ahead.
that real? Did you guys think that happened, or was that like a dream?
No, it
sequence?
was 100. Okay,
You
so
had that dream sequence earlier in the movie.
here's
Was
why
that
it's
just
real.
that scene?
We're gonna talk about that soon.
Here's
Well,
why it's
soon.
there. Let's go.
Soon.
Yeah. So here's why it's real. So he walks out of prison, and at first it's black and white. And the black and white, it's like that sepia tone where, like, oh, this is dream sequence because this is a dream or like a flashback that he kind of fantasy that he had earlier about being with her in like an old car. And then it switches to color. And so then that's where you're like, his dream literally transitioned from being a fantasy to being reality.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
That's what I took from that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be dreamlike, but it turned real.
hmm
It got real.
Yeah. I guess I spaced the polarization of the scene.
So that's the movie. We went over, pretty much every scene.
Yeah. So, is there any overall things? I feel like there's like a few little things I wanted to point out.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear what James has to say about his whole theory about Deborah being some crazy hardened criminal. Let's hear it. James.
It's not even that. It's not even that. It's not even that. Let's have Taryn go first. There's really nothing. Yeah, I might have played too much on that. I think it's more of it actually has nothing to do with Deborah. This movie's about Baby.
Yeah.
There's not a single thing that has to do with Deborah.
So let's get some final thoughts. Let's rate the movie from 1 to 10. I'll go ahead and go first. I mean, I just absolutely loved this movie. I think the sound, the editing, it's just everything worked so perfectly. The writing, how everything was intentional. I mean, there was a couple like little continuity things that I honestly probably could get over, but I'm gonna rate this movie a 9.5 out of 10.
No, it's
And
for grading.
yeah, and I think I don't know, I think maybe one thing, the continuity things, maybe some of the characters were a little bit too linear. They didn't, like no, even how much I love Bats and Darling and Buddy, like you knew who their characters were and they followed that path, you know. But yeah, I loved it. I loved the movie. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I agree. When I realized that the movie was like so sound based and shit, it was like absolutely mind blowing. I thought it was like a damn shame that it took me this long to see, given that it came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But it was incredible. I want to give it like a solid like 9 out of 10, like, but maybe a 10. I think you're right in that there's totally story, like cookie cutter storytelling. It's kind of like a love story. There's a lot of shit that just helps move the plot, but it's done in like a way that's so damn cool. And like I've never seen something like this, like with the sound and the timing, and it was really cool. Maybe there's shit out there, I'd love to know, but this was the first time I've experienced it, and it was amazing.
James?
Yeah, so overall, this movie's it's fucking great. Face value, the movie is just action packed. It's pumping. It gets your blood boiling right from the fucking first 7 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just popping. The chase car scenes are just insane. They're just insane, but I cannot get past Deborah's character. I can't get past Doc's character. I just feel like towards the end of the movie, both of them really fall apart. I really like that Baby, when he takes off his headphones, the weight of his actions are really felt. They're really felt. Do you remember in the scene when I think his earphones break and then he's still in the car from the old lady and everything?
Yeah.
And his actions are really weighted. They're heavy.
And you can hear that as a listener or as a watcher. Like there's that high frequency tone for the watcher too when his headphones are off.
Oh, yeah, every time he doesn't have music playing, it has that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's super heavy. It's super heavy. But I just can't get over the fact that Deborah is not. I hate to say this. I like because like whatever realism and fantasy, they have their place. I don't know. I just Deborah just doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
She just doesn't do it for me. And the way that all of a sudden this hardened criminal boss in Doc just all of a sudden softens. I mean, he says, "Oh, I was in love once." I mean,
Yeah.
that's okay. It's just not enough for me. And I want to say that Baby Driver's an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I really like this movie. I really did. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I really like this movie, and I really loved Baby and his acting. I really did. Even though I hated on it a lot, he ended up being like really awesome for me. And there's a few more things that I want to talk about after you guys are done rating it, if I can.
Sure. Taryn?
Yeah, so I feel like after talking about it, I definitely agree with James that Deborah and Doc's characters were wrapped up a little too neatly in like a, I don't know, it just felt weird the way the end just kind of wrapped up real quick, kind of.
Yeah.
But man, the opening sequence is probably like one of the coolest scenes like ever. Like I love it so much.
Cool. So
Yeah,
fucking
you just watched
cool.
that scene
so
over and
good.
over.
So good.
And I just
so
loved
good.
it. Yeah. So I'm gonna say 8.5. I probably will never give it 10 because I don't know.
Yeah.
Like 5, I feel like 5 is average and 10 is perfect to me. So I'm probably never gonna give it 10 personally. So I don't know. I feel like an 8.5 sounds bad, but like that's like super good. Like I fucking love this whole movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah,
when they're
that's what
not
I
in
said.
cars, it slowed down a little bit, but when they're in the cars, it's obviously a fucking treat to watch.
I was like, I love this movie, and I loved Ansel. I loved the way he acted. I really did, and I agree with you. I was like, don't get me wrong, I like this movie a lot.
Yeah.
I do. It's good. It's a good movie. It's really good.
What the fuck?
What the hell?
That's on my fucking street.
Oh my
That's
god.
babydriver right there.
Oh my god.
Put that in the intro now.
I know, right? Woo. Holy shit.